Hi, I'm Daniella. I'm the Science and Technology Editor for Redbrick, and today I'll be interviewing Sam Naef, and he's the founder of the Climate app, which is an app that is hoping to help cut the carbon emissions of people across the globe. Okay, so my first question is, can you give me a summary of what the app does and what you think it can do in the future?
Sure. Okay, so the app is just a tool for a movement, and the movement is all about creating a huge amount of people cutting their carbon. Because as you know, in about 8 years' time, we will hit a point in which the climate will continuously heat up. So we need a lot of people taking action, not talk about things anymore. They need to start doing action to reduce their carbon footprint. And the app is the tool. It helps people do that. It's fun, easy to use. It's lots of challenges, but the most important thing is you can see other people taking action as well. Because right now it's super lonely. No one wants to take action because it makes your life more difficult sometimes. You know, if I can't fly or whatever, or if I'm paying more money for green energy, I've not really got a big incentive to do it. But if I see everyone else doing it, it's easier to do. We leverage positive peer pressure, and so each action creates this positive virtuous circle, as we call it. And if we're doing it together, then we might stand a chance in making sure we don't f up the climate.
So, how does the Climate app calculate your carbon footprint in the work?
There's different stages of the app, and currently we're only creating an estimate of the carbon footprint. So you answer like 5 questions and it shows you a rough figure. Let's say it's 15 tons of CO2 per year that you're emitting, and it will say the UK average is 13.1 tons of CO2 per year, and the world average is 4.1 tons of CO2 per year. And so it will show you, this in a very easy way, and then it will say, okay, your challenge. Do you want to take up this challenge or this challenge, like Duolingo style? Let's go without meat for a week or a meal. And then you complete challenges and create posts, and other people see it, and then you discuss and like and all these other social gamification tools. Awesome. So initially there's this rough estimate, and then later on it'll get more detailed as we increase the amount of scientists on the team, and we'll hopefully get the stamp of approval of a big name in science as well at one point.
Thinking about like the future of the app, are there any things that you're looking to like updates you're thinking about, any things that you haven't been able to put in the beta version, things like that?
So we've just developed the alpha app. Which is just kind of like the bare bones functionality using a team of volunteers, and we've almost completed the beta designs, which is the professional version of the app. It will feel like a full app, but it still won't have the millions of other ideas that we have. But you've got to be very selective with these things, because you want to maintain the app being very simple and easy to use.
Of these ideas, are there any that you guys are leaning towards that you will make an impact on the app eventually?
One thing that we've just decided to add on to the app is being able to save and play or start other people's actions. So say you go into the shop and you see bananas wrapped in plastic, and you think, this is stupid. Why is bananas wrapped in plastic? Because it's already got its outer casing. We're just using up more oil to create plastic. So you post it, and other people say, I want to do that now. I'm never going to buy bananas in plastic again. So you have this multiplier effect. So from one person finding out something, it can create a chain reaction, and then lots of other people start doing it as well. And so I think being able to see who started it off and how many times people have done it might be quite an interesting thing. But this is just a new idea I've had recently, so we'll see if that ends up in the app.
Yeah, that's quite a cool idea, like seeing the chain of reaction. That'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, it's a date it started, and then one person picked up a week later, one person, and then suddenly like everyone's doing it.
Yeah,
who knows what it looks like.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really cool idea. 'Cause I feel like that's kind of happened like um just like in small things, like even just going like vegetarian, like it must have started somewhere. Like we know back in like the 70s and stuff, like it was considered bizarre to be vegetarian, and now it's like this massive thing. It'd be so cool to find out where that started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, at one point, being vegetarian or vegan was almost laughed at. You know, people were
Yeah,
like, "Why are you
exactly.
doing it?" And now, you know, people, I hope to think, majority of people are very warm to it, and they're like, "Okay, cool, you're being nice animals and you're saving the planet." Like, you
Yeah,
know, and the people who eat meat, which was me a year ago. You know, people who eat meat start thinking, do I really need to eat this? Or if you've got to eat meat, don't eat beef. Don't eat
yeah,
beef and lamb. Like
yeah,
if you can cut out that, then you're already doing a huge thing. You know,
yeah.
and that's how I started. And it's a slippery slope to moral high ground.
I like that. And what has been the process of developing an app? Like you could reference your 8 billion minds app. Like I don't think it's something any of our readers will ever have done before.
Yeah. So it's difficult. It's really difficult. It's taken me several years to understand the process and how not to do things. You've got to put a lot of time in to think about every single feature, every tiny little bit. So once you have the idea, just create some wireframes, sketches of the pages, sketches of you know, the functionalities, the core functionalities, the absolutely necessary bits of the app. You will have 100 ideas. Choose the one or two which it really needs. Cut everything else out. That is now your MVP, your minimal viable product. And then need experts. You need people who are professionals to do it, because you will not be able to do it yourself. I thought I could do with 8 Billion Minds, and I kind of wasted many years. I loved doing it. I learned a lot. So what I did is build up a big team of volunteers. So now, you know, I'm very lucky to have UX people and designers on the team. UX stands for user experience. So they're the people who really understands how to design an app. And usually you need to do it based off user feedback. So do not create something without testing the concept with people, finding out what they want and put that in. You're building something for other people, not what you want to do. And that's kind of what I did initially with 8 Billion Minds. I thought this would be quite nice, so I designed it how I wanted. And now it's kind of merging from that into something that people are now giving feedback for what they want. So yeah, got to build a great team. It's all about the people. And I'm so lucky with Climate App and 8 Billion Minds. There's some amazing people on the team.
What do you think drives your volunteers to be part of this? It's like it's going to be a revolution, I hope.
I hope so too. I think that's it. I think it's the vision. I don't have to explain to people why the app is needed. I don't have to explain, you know, it's something that people get. And yeah, there's a nice story out there called Stone Soup. For anyone listening to this, I recommend checking that out. In essence, if you just start something, other people will join and help out and go from nothing into something. Because 1 year ago this was absolutely nothing, and with lots of other people joining, you know, they've made it into something. So I think people believe in each other in the team. I think the team has a lot of good people on, and we are getting results, even though we've got zero money. You know, we've been able to do some great things. So I think that, but you know, everyone on board I hope everyone feels like it's their own thing. You know, everyone has ownership, and you know, at the end of the day, everyone just really cares about the why. You know, that's another good TED video. A guy called Simon Sinek. People buy into the why you're doing things, not the what. So whenever you talk to people about what you should be doing, talk to them about why you're doing it first.
Mm. Maybe that's the secret. Thinking about that idea of like why people do this, what kind of impact do you think the app will have?
It'll be the catalyst for a movement of action, hoping that there's going to be many other groups that is going to have a similar message as well, and we can all join up and and get this thing to happen. I'm hoping that the app is going to play a big part as being the tool for this, and that it needs to be very widespread. There's an interesting statistic called the 3.5% rule, and if you manage to get 3.5% of any society or any population doing something, that pretty much has a knock-on effect for the whole society. So that's our aim. If we manage to get about 3.5% of the UK using the app and taking action, that will have such a big influence as to shift the whole perception of the British society, for example, to be one of taking action. And of course, we don't just want to target Britain, we want to target Europe, America, Asia, and the rest of the world.
Any climate action stereotypically has been associated with young people, but is your app going to be directed towards young people, or are you aiming for a bit of a wider audience?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who picks it up. I think the young obviously get it a lot more than more experienced people, but there are, the people who follow the app and the people who've contributed to our crowdfunding campaign have really stretched all areas of society, from age, from all background, ethnicity, absolutely everything. This is an issue which everyone cares about. And I think this is, that's one of the positive things about this, is that from a child to their grandparents, they should all be taking action. And it's a tool that everyone can share and speak to each other within, which is quite a nice way to help us feel closer to each other and to help us work together on this issue.
Little bit sidestepping from that kind of topic. Through coronavirus and COVID-19, have you faced any difficulties in developing an app?
Yeah, interesting question. It's my answer will probably be very different to someone who is paying their employees. This is a team of volunteers. So initially, it was quite interesting that it was easier for me to build my team because a lot of people had a lot of spare time. So there was definitely more applications to join around this time. Sustaining the team has been interesting. For the first few months, a lot of people could dedicate a lot of time on the project. Recently, I think as things have got back to a bit more normal, people are picking up their work again and so having less time for the project. So that's been a bit of a challenge. But saying that, we are quite lucky because a lot of people do want to get involved and help out, which is a nice position to be in. In terms of funding, that's been annoying because a lot of funding applications haven't been able to be sent out because the funding organisation have said, okay, because of COVID, we're not giving money out this year, and things like this. So it has really slowed down a lot of opportunities that we could have otherwise had.
It's really interesting that you've managed to get so much help. Like, COVID-19 has changed so many things and made so many things harder, but it's nice to hear a good thing happen.
Yeah, I did feel a bit guilty at the beginning. It was my life should be much worse, but actually, I kind of liked not seeing anyone when I go to the office, when I babysit the satellite. It's quite nice for it to be peaceful. No one else was allowed in the room. It was only me, and then I come home and there was more people to work on my projects. So it was quite nice in a terrible way.
I think you've pretty much answered all of my questions. Is there anything you'd like to add yourself?
I think the main thing, please, for anyone interested in the climate app, get involved, contribute to our crowdfunding campaign. We cannot make this app unless we reach the target. So we need money, but we also need your sharing, your liking, and sharing it, to your network, friends, family, and help, think about the shift in mindset of going from talk to action. We all need to do it.
Have you got a date for the crowdfunding that you want to reach the total at all?
Let's say end of September. We need to reach it by the end of September, but the first deadline is in 19 days. So we're going to ideally we'd be able to make it by then in 90
Yeah.
days, so we don't have to extend it, because it looks quite bad if you have to extend it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're only at 22% at the moment. It's still €5,000 we've raised, but still quite a bit off the €22,000 we want.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
Thank you
The
very
world
much.
is in your hands. No pressure.